Welcome to Elevate. I am your host, Deanna Johnson Coffin.
And I'm Adriana Coffin, your co-host. And we're the mother-daughter talk show that wants to elevate your life.
Well, we are excited about today's show, this week's show. We have several good things coming up for you today on today's program. One is our In the Spotlight interview with Abigail Paul. Abigail Paul is a wife and mom, and she has been recently diagnosed with Myasthenia Gravis, which is an autoimmune disease. Abigail sits down and talks with us about the disease and about how she's navigating that and about how she's, in spite of the disease, is looking to live her best life. And she also gives a lot of information for others who might be struggling with the disease as well. Also, in our In Around the Town segment, we will be taking you to the beautiful mountains of North Georgia. And looking at some waterfalls that we visited a little while back. And then we have a segment today called Writing a Winning Resume. You want to land that job, especially for you people who are just out of college looking for your first job in your career. We're going to talk about and share some tips with you from some of the professionals who've been there and done that about how to write that winning resume. So stay tuned with us because we've got a lot going on today in today's show. Adriana, so let's talk about trending topics, hot news. What's going on? I've heard that President Biden is going to be launching or has already launched an official investigation into the COVID-19 virus?
Yes, he has. He's been investigating the origins of the virus. Now, originally, the main theory was that the COVID-19 virus originated in a wet market in China with all the live animals that were being sold for meat.
Sure.
But now there's a new theory. The theory is that it accidentally leaked from a lab and that's how it spread to the population.
Right. Now, that was already something in the air,
yeah,
right?
That used to be a conspiracy theory, but now that they've found a little bit more evidence, they're doing a formal investigation.
Wow, so it's already underway.
Yes.
As far as we know. Okay, very good. Well, we're all waiting to see what the results will be for that. Moving on. Now, we talked about this story, and I think I told you about it. A woman discovered that her husband had a second family after thumbing through the local newspaper and seeing his name along with this other woman's name and the new baby's name listed in the birth announcement. What do you think about that? Is that crazy?
I just think it's terrible to go off and just destroy your family by going off and finding another woman and starting an entirely new family.
Yeah.
And I don't know why these men who do that think they can get away with it.
Yeah, and not only after she confronted him, he denied it profusely, but then she gave him evidence that he could no longer deny, and then he turned the tables and acted like he was the victim and started attacking her, not necessarily physically doing an attack, but took all the family goods, wiped out the bank account and harassed her because she wouldn't go back and live with them and be one big happy family. I don't know. I just think the whole thing is crazy. People do crazy stuff.
Yes, they do.
Crazy stuff. One more. How about this one? The Florida man who attacked a black woman at a Ferris wheel. As if that's not bad enough, the second part of the story makes it better. He was beaten down by onlookers. What do you think?
Well, first of all, why does all this crazy stuff seem to happen in Florida? If there's any Floridians watching right now, please tell me about it in the comments.
Help us understand. We don't understand.
But I don't understand why this man thought that he could attack this woman.
Yeah, and nobody's going to do anything.
That nothing was going to happen to him. I mean, he deserved to get beaten up. I mean, some people just need to be beat.
I mean, that's the language they understand, if you're aggressive, I think you should expect somebody to be aggressive back to you too.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. So he basically got what he deserved. Well, folks, there you have it. Stay with us. We've got to take a little break, but we'll be right back. Don't go away. ready to share our Around the Town segment with you. I love Around the Town, this particular segment, because I love to travel and go to new spaces and new places and take pictures and do videos. And so this brings me joy to share some of the places and spaces that we've been to with you. This week's Around the Town takes us to the mountains of North Georgia. North Georgia has wonderful mountains and beautiful scenery. We got to visit 3 waterfalls. There are many more, but we got to visit 3. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Each of the 3 waterfalls were very beautiful in their own unique way. And it was a really great trip.
You remember which ones we went to?
Yes, we went to Amicalola, we went to Anna Ruby Falls, and we also went to Minnehaha Falls.
Yeah, and they're all, had their own unique qualities, but all beautiful in their own way. So take a look at our adventures together. This week, our Around the Town segment takes us to 3 spectacular waterfalls in the beautiful mountains of North Georgia. Our first stop takes us to Amicalola Falls State Park. The park is home to Amicalola Falls, a 729-foot waterfall that is the highest in Georgia. The balcony, located outside the lovely lodge at the top of the falls, is a great place to take a family photo and catch the views of the magnificent mountains. Walking down the many steps to the base of the falls is quite a trek, but being able to view it up close makes it well worth the trip. Then we headed over to Anna Ruby Falls, also known as Twin Falls, located near Unicoi State Park near Helen, Georgia. When we arrived, we snapped a quick picture of the Smokey the Bear statue located outside the Visitors Center, and then we made our way to the main trail. We enjoyed listening to the sounds of the rushing water as we walked along the trail, and we made sure to watch out for rattlesnakes that are indigenous to the area. It took about 30 minutes to reach the falls. The quietness of the area is only broken by the thundering rush of water flowing over the rugged face of the cliff. We memorialized our time there with another family picture. By this time, we had worked up quite an appetite, so we drove over to Dillard, Georgia, and had lunch at the Dillard House. They served us a delicious family-style meal with all of the southern fixings. Before we left the restaurant, we visited the gift shop and purchased some homemade goodies for our family to eat when we got home. Our final stop took us to beautiful Lake Rabun in Rabun County, Georgia. Tucked away near the lake is the Minnehaha Falls. Listening to the water as we walked along the trail was exhilarating. As we made our way around the final bend on the path, we looked up, and there above us were the falls in all of their glory. The amazing views of the North Georgia mountains and its waterfalls is nothing short of sensational and a must-see for all. We need to take another little break, but please stay with us and don't go away. Well, welcome back from break. And before we go into our segment where we talk about writing a winning resume, Adriana, our resident niche, obscure, all things facts girl, is going to share with us some Did You Know facts. So, Adriana, give us some Did You Know facts.
Well, did you know that 76% of resumes are thrown out because of an unprofessional email address?
Really?
Yes. I mean, if you do things that are inappropriate, like about drugs and alcohol, or, very silly, like I love peanut butter cookie 76.
Really?
Or, just anything weird or pop culture related in your email. That just reflects poorly on you.
Very much so.
I mean, it's really best to just keep it generic, have just some variation of your name.
Really, yeah. So, something like Big Girls Don't Cry, that's not going to fly. No, nothing like that. Or I don't know, anything crazy doesn't go.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so stick with just a regular standard. Yeah. Okay, what else?
Okay, did you know that only 35% of people are actually qualified for the jobs that they apply to.
So why would someone apply?
Well, people think they look at the job description and they say, I could do that even if they're not actually qualified.
I could be a brain
sometimes
surgeon.
people, I mean, it's usually not that bad, but
Okay.
sometimes people will fudge on things like their experience or their education. They'll say they have a master's when they have a bachelor's, or they have 10 years of experience when they really only have 5.
Wow. It's like, so even like, so, so they just lie.
Yeah, they just lie.
I mean, I don't really know any way to.
I mean, it's not as bad as, someone with an art degree trying to be a brain surgeon, but it's still lying.
Okay, so most of the people who apply for jobs are applying for jobs that they're not qualified for.
Yeah.
Wow. That is something I did not know. Give us one more did you know fact.
Did you know that 33% of interviewees, people who go through the job applications but make it to the interview round, are rejected from the job because they have bad posture?
What?
Yes, it's just having bad posture really reflects poorly on you. Slouching,
really?
Leaning back too much. It just makes you look like you're not confident,
and
or like you're not credible or not interested.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like, I want this job, man. I want this job.
That makes you seem like you're stoned.
Yeah, bad posture. Who knew? Would not have guessed that. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to sit up and say, I am present, I am here, I am ready to go to work. Right?
Maybe not too up. I mean, I'm sure that you can go overboard too.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you. Those are really, really interesting things to know. Did you know? I don't know if you know. I didn't know. Anyway, switching to our part of this segment called Writing a Winning Resume, we thought that it would be a great idea, particularly for college students or even people who are transitioning from one job to another, to really look at specific things that they can do to help really upgrade their resume. Let me tell you, your resume is your calling card. It's the first thing that a potential employer will see before they ever look at you or do that first interview or, even pre-screen you. So, like you said, if your resume is no good, I mean, you're out the door. You never even got in the door, don't you think?
Yeah,
absolutely. You never even got in the door. So let's talk about some specific points, and some of these points will be on the screen. So take note. This list, it's from an employment company. So these are the people who know what they know. So point 1, keep it brief and concise. Employers spend an average of 5 seconds sizing up a resume, so if they don't like what they see within that time period, they're going to move on to the next one. 5 seconds, folks. That's all you have to make your initial impression. So keep it brief. Next, describe yourself and what you do in detail. Using powerful action verbs to describe your work is really, really super important. Words like gathered, established, instructed, resolved, negotiated, etc. Those kinds of action words, let them do their thing for you. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah. And then adjust your resume based on the job that you're applying for. My husband was a part of helping to hire people back in the day, and he's a big stickler on writing a resume for the job. It's okay to have 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever amount of resumes that fit the job description that you're applying for. Don't just generalize. That's a mistake. So be prepared to put down multiple skill sets on your resume. Yes.
Yeah, and another thing that's really important to remember is that, if you're young like me and you're just entering the workforce and you don't have much work experience, you can also mention things such as volunteering or hands-on school projects or other things like that to put on your resume to fill things out. A lot of times people have done more than they think, and they have more experience than they think they have.
Absolutely. I found that to be true when I started really working on my resume, and I've had a resume for many years, but for a while I was out of the workforce because I was a stay-at-home mom. But it was your dad who said, no, make your resume, put down all your volunteer work, see what it looks like. And I ended up surprising myself. I had a lot more information and volunteer work, and that I didn't realize I had done so much. So put it down. It can really show up really well on a resume.
So, what else do you think people should consider when putting together a resume?
One of the things that that this employment agency said was, take the I out of resume. Use language that does not have personal pronouns. Don't say I assisted staff with the creation of a database. Instead, say something to the effect of assisted with the creation of a database. It sounds much more professional than I did this and I did that. Also, employers need to see proof of what you've done, and so use numeric information that makes things seem more real to them. You could write down that you supervise staff, but instead of saying it like that, it's better to indicate that you supervise a staff of 10 to 15 people. That's much more credible. After all, you're having to prove to them that you are who you are and that you've done what you've done. So I think that those are some good, really good tips. We'll have the website of the employer company on for you to look at and to get more information from. And right now we're going to take you to a break, but we will be right back. Welcome back, and in this week's In the Spotlight segment, we will be featuring an interview with Abigail Paul. Abigail is a mom and a wife. She's also a registered behavior technician, and she was recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called Myasthenia Gravis. And so Abigail takes us through what life looks like for her on a day-to-day basis, and how and what she's doing to overcome and in order to live her best life. Take a look. Well, Abigail Paul, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and being with us today. I want to go ahead and get straight into our interview. I guess the first thing I want to ask is, can you share a little bit with my audience about your background and your family? Just kind of introduce yourself to my audience.
Yeah, so I am married.
Mhm.
I've been married for 5 years this November.
Wow, that's
My
amazing.
husband and I have almost 2.5-year-old named Noah.
That's right.
He is super spunky, but a lot of fun.
That's like 2 years.
And my professional background is working with in early childhood education with a specialization with special needs individuals.
Gotcha. Mhm.
Currently, that's in applied behavior analysis, but
Mhm.
I've worked in many different fields relating to young kids and or special needs people.
Now, I know one of the main things we're going to talk about today is myasthenia gravis. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
You were recently diagnosed with MG. Can you tell my audience a little bit more about what MG is and what it looks like and feels like for you on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, sure. It is a rare autoimmune disorder. So basically my body attacks itself. And so what happens is it's a breakdown in the neuromuscular junction, which basically means that my nerves don't communicate with my muscles.
Wow.
So if I have access to, let's say, 10 pounds of muscle antibodies get released that stop or block that communication. So my brain or your nerves tell you, okay, move this muscle, and it might only be communicating with 1 to 2 pounds of the 10 that you have available.
Wow.
As an example.
Wow.
So you are inherently strong and you have lots of muscle, but your brain isn't able to access communication with all of it.
Wow. So there's a breakdown in communication.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and that's triggered by the antibodies get released by a lot of different things. So number one is movement. So the more I move, the weaker I get. It's probably the only disorder in the universe where exercise is life-threatening.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Stress can trigger it. Illness can trigger it.
Yeah.
Pregnancy can make it worse. There's a wide variety of things that, but they call it the snowflake disease. That's like the big thing. It's myasthenia gravis is the snowflake disease because we're all so unique and we all present so differently.
Oh, wow.
That you could have any set of combination of symptoms and the treatment that works for you might not be what works for someone else.
I know that you professionally are a registered behavioral technician. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So how has this disease affected your ability to work?
In every way.
Wow.
So currently I am not driving. I haven't driven since February 10th was the last day.
Wow.
So getting to the office is difficult. I'm extremely fortunate to work for a company that allows me to work virtually, and I have some adult clients that I'm able to work with. So since they're adults, they're able to tolerate a virtual session, whereas a kid on the autism spectrum would not.
Could not, right.
But even talking for 2 hours wears my diaphragm out. So 2 hours is about my working max at a time.
Wow. So now I asked you about work. Let's talk about home. How has this affected your ability to care for a 2-year-old, a very active 2-year-old? I mean, as a mom, how does this look at home?
Well, we have a lot of accommodations.
Yes.
We have a lot of help. I currently can't be left alone with my 2-year-old safely for more than like an hour and a half at a time. And a good bit of that involves TV. So that's his chill time for the day.
Quick question. I think people need to understand this has not been something that you've been dealing with for years and years. This is all unraveled very recently, hasn't it?
Well, I actually think I've had it for 2 years. I can track back my early symptoms 2 years.
But you didn't know it.
I didn't know it. No, I knew something was wrong. I knew there was something going on. There was a reason I was so tired. I could walk all around Stone Mountain one day, and the next day I couldn't walk 100 steps.
Is that right?
That day, the instance I'm thinking of in particular, I actually fell down in the street because my legs. The rapid progression has been mostly since last fall. And then most severely since February.
So I don't want to go away without asking this question. I know that you're in the process of trying to raise money for an electric wheelchair that your insurance companies do what they do. They are not going to cover an electric wheelchair. So I know you've started this campaign. I want to make sure that you get a chance to tell my audience about what you're doing to raise money.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get a power wheelchair approved. And it's been a very difficult process. And even if they could approve one, the one that they would give me would be like over 100 pounds and not practical for MG and only for indoor use. Which when you have a little kid you want to be able to go outside and do stuff with your family. So I found, after 2 months of research, I found a power chair that meets all of my needs for MG, but it's not FDA approved for medical grade use because that would be for paralyzed people, which I am not.
Right.
So to fund it, but the chair is $2,700.
Okay, that was my next question.
Which
wow.
is very outside of our price range with all of my hospitalizations this year.
Yeah.
So I used to do a little bit of graphic design work. So I actually designed my own t-shirts for MG awareness.
Okay.
and I have been selling the shirts.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. As a fundraiser type thing.
Yes, and my awesome brother-in-law, Jeremy
Yes.
Paul with Vulture Press,
Yes.
has offered to make the shirts and waive the labor fee, so we're able to put 75% of the proceeds towards the chair, which is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Well, we want to help you as much as we can. And so what we're wanting to do is put that information out there for our viewers. And do you have and whatever link that you
Yeah,
have?
I have a Google form link that I'm using as an order form.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that on the show for people to access so that anybody who wants to contribute to that or buy whatever can do that. And that'll be one step closer to you having your chair. So thank you for sharing so candidly with us about the disease and about what your life looks like. And I hope it'll inspire others who might be going through this or maybe dealing with some other kind of disease. I think talking to you is inspirational. So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome. We're going to take a little break, but we'll be right back, so don't go away. Well, we're back and we're almost out of time. But before we go, I want to share with you how you can be a guest on our Elevate show. Have you done something to elevate your life or to elevate the life of someone else? Well, if you have, we want to know about it. It could be that you have lost a bunch of weight. It could be that you kicked the habit of smoking. It could be that you started that new gig that we talked about several weeks ago. Anything of that nature. We want to know how you've been elevating your life. We want to know how you've made your community better. So please share it with us. And Adriana's going to tell you how to do that.
So to share your stories, go to our Elevate YouTube channel and subscribe. Then email your stories and pictures to elevateytchannel@gmail.com. You can also become a friend of the Elevate Facebook page, and that will allow you to share your stories and pictures with us there as well.
Wow, great, thank you. Also, we don't want to leave this show today without giving Adriana a chance to tell you about a wonderful online cooking class that she's making available for kids, and she'll tell you the ages.
Yes, so I'm the host of another YouTube channel called Cooking at the Coffins, and this summer I'm teaching a series of 4 online cooking classes. The cooking classes will be taking place June 28th through July 19th, and it's for kids ages 7 through 13. The classes are $40 for the entire 4-week series of classes. So each week your child will get step-by-step instruction on how to make 2 recipes, a dinner and a dessert, and they'll also get to learn about food and kitchen safety. So click the link in the description below to sign up and to see more information on the class.
And we just want to thank you for being with us today. We don't take it for granted that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to watch us and to send encouraging messages to us. We really appreciate that. And don't forget to like and share with your friends and tell them about the Elevate Talk Show.
So we upload new videos to YouTube every Sunday at 6 o'clock, and we're also on DeKalb County, Georgia's Public Access Channel 25 at 7 p.m. on Sundays, so you can catch us there as well.
Well, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time on the Elevate Talk Show. Bye now.
See you next week.